why Meet the Others podcast. What's this about?
Why are we doing this thing?
Why are we doing this dang thing?
Who the F?
Do we even know what we're doing?
Certainly not.
Oh,
We
no.
just hooked this thing up tonight. We figured out how to use the mics, and now we're recording 10 seconds afterwards. Gives
Word
me
up.
comfort. So
I hear you.
yeah. So anyways, Meet the Others. That's us.
Still waiting on this car to come and take me home. Things feel a little different now that we grown. Till I turn the ass, sure they put my name in stone. Live how I wanna live, cause we die alone.
Hey.
Yo.
What's poppin', everybody?
Welcome to Meet the Others podcast. If this is your first time here, welcome.
Welcome to our house, the humble house of Meet the Others.
Meet the Others, where we talk about pretty much anything and everything for creatives and how to move along and continue to be creatives and
All the things.
all the good things,
All the things.
all the things.
So yeah. So
Well, if you didn't know, I'm Anissa B.
I am Choirboy Dank, and together we are the Meet the Others podcast.
Yes.
So what are we drinking today?
What's in the cup? Well, so I'm almost done, guys, but I have my pre-workout from this morning.
Well,
I'm not too sure if you follow us on our social media platforms, but we get up pretty early. So like, this is like a 5-hour.
You've been
drink.
rocking with that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Even it's a pre-workout, and I also do like a collagen mix. Sometimes I even go a little crazy and put some emergency in it. So I'm almost done, but I had to drink my water first. So that's the reason why it's taking so long to drink this drink. You
It's
know
a
how that
cocktail.
goes. Yeah, and then I have my Great Value Walmart.
Great value.
Some water. What about you? What we got over here?
I am drinking Great Value water that's kind of warm.
Lukewarm.
We didn't have enough waters to get us through the morning. You only had like 4, which, we go through a lot of waters.
And we like cold water. We're a little bougie. We don't like warm room temperature water.
Yeah.
So it's hard.
They say that room temperature water is better for you, but, screw that.
Yeah.
If I'm drinking water, I want it to be cold.
I want it ice cold, like frosty on my bottle.
And then I'm also getting through this little protein shake that I got over here.
Nice.
For
What
breakfast.
type? What flavor?
Oh, I do the Reese's cup.
The Reese's cup. Yum.
No,
Okay.
it's actually really not like that. It's just like peanut butter and chocolate, but it tastes just more like peanut butter than anything else.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah.
Well.
I put a little bit of chia seeds in there
Yum.
and some MCT oil, which is weird because it's powder.
MCT oil.
Yeah, it's like made from coconuts. It's good for your brain and other things. I need something for my brain. So.
Hey, you do what you need to do in your life.
Do.
No one's judging you here. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So.
Yes.
So what's up? How have you been through the week?
I have been fabulous. I mean, the week has just started. But last week, I feel like I've been definitely growing, and physically and mentally. And it's been like a great journey of doing this. Still doing the, hard 75.
Do we know the day? You're better at knowing the actual day. I don't. We know the day maybe, but I certainly don't know the day.
We're on day 42.
Hey yo,
42.
Let's get a little clap up for that. I mean, I feel like that's a pretty good number. I feel like we're getting through it.
Heck yeah. And if you guys don't know what the hard 40, the hard, no, hard 40.
We're done today.
We're done now. No, if you guys don't know the hard 75, it's basically you just kind of put yourself through a challenge for 75 days where you don't drink for 75 days. You work out twice a day, one inside and one outside for 45 minutes. You have to drink a gallon of water or something that kind of equals out to your body weight. You have to take progressive pictures. You don't have to post them, but I'm such a posting person that, social media is something that is my platform. I go to every single platform and kind of post my progression just to show people every single day of what I'm going through. But you don't have to do that. You can kind of keep it for yourself and just see the progression happen for yourself. And then the other one is stick to a diet. Read a book for 10 pages of a book of self-healing, self-growth, and all that stuff. Correct? Did I do it all?
I think that's all of them. Yeah. And then we got the actual hard 75 book.
Yes.
And we're probably on chapter 3 at this point.
Yeah, because we also been reading Man Up. We kind of been like doing a bunch of different books at the same time just because we are, entrepreneurs and we're trying to, fill our brains with so much knowledge that sometimes we just can't stick with one book. So we bounce back and forth on all the books.
Well, yeah, and sometimes like we want to find, the author or the subject or the kind of program framework or whatever you want to call it that fits us, right? So like sometimes you take a little piece from this guy's book and then something from over here. But yeah,
so hard 75 is by Andy Frisella.
Andy Frisella.
I always say. How you say that. And then Man Up is by Bedros
Keuilian.
Bedros Keuilian. I freaking love both those guys. Super hardcore, super in your face. I'm sorry for hurt your feelings. This is what it is. Man up.
Yeah,
get it together.
Which is funny because then Bedros also, I found out about Bedros a while ago through a guy named Craig Ballantyne, who's very not like that. He's like very
soft-spoken.
Not really soft-spoken. He'll step on toes, but he made it his mission to not curse at all. Like it's a big deal for him to not curse. And you don't have to do that to get your point across, which is, it's cool just to see how each person kind of has their voice, right? So it's funny because he came from a pretty rough childhood, and Bedros actually talks about it in his Man Up thing, where he came from 2 alcoholic parents.
Yeah, yes, I remember that. Yes,
and he was like, he said that he was something in the book. It was like I had green eyes, a yellow belly, and a black heart.
Yes,
you remember that?
Yes,
he said I was jealous, and I was a coward, and I was self-centered, or something like that.
Yes. So. Yeah. Hey, I say if you curse, you curse. If you don't, you don't. It's your own flow. Whatever gets the point across, it is what it is. I don't think that one is right and one is wrong. I think each of them have their own flavors. And if you love it, you stick with it. If you don't, it's not part of your life. That's it. Boom. Done.
Yeah. And that's, I think, that kind of what I like to do is I like this from this guy. Right. I like this. This makes sense or whatever. I mean, for me, if you know anything about my music or whatever, I don't shy away from, dropping a curse word here and there. I think that there's a lot of emotion and, there's just, there's something that you can convey with curse words that you can't necessarily fully get across that same emotion.
Yes.
But whatever, I think that sometimes, there's a time and a place for everything.
That is true. That is very true. Yes. So today we actually wanted to come on and give you guys a little bit of some, tricks and tips on overcoming setbacks. So we jotted down some new stuff and we're going to kind of talk about it. maybe give a little bit of our perspective, maybe our experiences, if we did have somewhat of a setback in our lives at some point. And just kind of like strategize with you guys and try to help you guys along the way when, you know, you're creative or you're doing something physical or you just have this goal at the end of the tunnel and then something smacks you in the face and you feel like, oh my gosh, we would rather you move forward. And by doing that, we want to give you these, you know, tricks and tips than actually like
let it stop you, right?
Let it stop you, because both of us have experienced that many different times in our lives. And, you know, if anything, we can try and help someone who might be just a little bit more on the edge of being like, you know what? I got a setback. I think I'm going to walk away from this. We don't want that, right?
No, not at all. I think that especially as a creative person, or like for me as an artist, as a producer even, I think that you come across and kind of, I don't know, for me, I fabricate like a whole idea, story, kind of rollout, different things like art and a big, you know, parade, if you will, about how I envision things to get done.
Right.
Because that's what gives me the motivation, because I'm like, oh, this is going to be sick. I'm going to do this, whatever. And every single time it doesn't come out the way that you would want it to, or the exact way that you envision in your head. And I think that that's what, I don't know. I think that that's what kind of shapes your art in a way, is how you kind of adapt to that and able to kind of ride that road. And I just think it's really important just to know that those setbacks are just something that kind of like informs your journey.
Yes. And not only does it like reshape your art or anything, it also reshapes it builds more character for you as a person. You know, like it builds you to be who you were meant to be.
100%.
You know?
100%. Yeah, it kind of like, it shapes you in a lot of ways. And I think that the way that you react in those harder times, or the times that things don't go well, really show who you are.
Yes.
Really kind of show what your character actually is, right?
Right.
Which, you know, sometimes is easy to hear.
Easier said than done.
100%.
Trust me, I know.
Yeah. And I think that one thing that really separates the super high performers from, you know, mid-level people or even lower performers or whatever, or just being able to kind of like move is how quickly you can recover from those setbacks.
Right.
And how you can go, okay, this didn't really work out the way I wanted to. Moving on.
Yes.
You know, it's easy to get into a space where you're just like, oh man, I wish this happened, or how could that, oh man, this type of thing always happens to me, or you know, and
always playing that victim role, and
screw that.
All you'll be is a victim if you continue to have that mind frame. You will not conquer any of your setbacks. You'll just be a victim for the rest of your life, and that's a no.
Yeah, you are your thoughts, right? Like if you make yourself out to be the victim in the tape that you're rolling in your head, then that's probably what's going to play out, you know? So
yes, for sure.
So
yeah, I kind of came up with some strategies, and we both kind of like were like, yes, this sounds correct, and we kind of wanted to go through them with you guys now, and also see if any of them relate to you. If they do, you can always comment down below. You can, you know, write to us privately if you feel like it. We're on Instagram and Facebook, YouTube, anywhere you want to, you know, just share your experiences. We would love to hear some of your setbacks and how you overcame them. I think that would be so dope.
I think that would be so dope for us to be able to hear and understand and like be able to grab inspiration from, and also be able to get other people that are watching just a level of understanding, like maybe I went through that same type of thing, you know,
because we're all inspirations to each other. So like, let's inspire each other, you know.
100%.
So my first tip and trick is embrace a growth mindset. adapt the belief that setbacks are opportunities for growth and learning rather than permanent failures. What would you say about that?
Yeah, I think that kind of goes back to what we were talking about is like using something that would be considered a setback to build your character and just give you the base to be resilient, right?
Yes.
It gives you that footing to say, oh, this kind of knocked me down, but every time I get knocked down, I get a little bit better balance.
Do you feel like you can like personally feel that for some situations that you may have went through in your life, and as a artist, as a performer, do you feel like you may have went through some of those things?
100%. I mean, there's, even just dealing with other artists, it's easy to be like, oh, I'm going to reach out to this guy. We're going to get some stuff done. And then they're like, yeah, we're going to do it. And then something doesn't happen. It doesn't work out. It's very easy to be like, oh man, I must really suck. Or,
right.
That thing, I've spent a lot of time making that thing, and now it's never going to really see the light of day. And, you just got to go, oh, cool, I'm going to release that.
Yeah.
I'm going to release that. Or, you know what? Maybe this other guy actually is going to sound a little bit better on that.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that goes to so much, even with like art that has been done or whatever, or things that I think that I'm going to do. Like, I feel like, yeah, you just got to know that, like, there's certain times where I set out to do a project and it's like, I'm going to make it look like this, and I have an idea, and it doesn't work out that way.
Right.
Or like,
right.
I don't have enough time to get it done in the time frame that I set out. And it's like, you know what? This is cool like this.
Yeah.
I like this like this. Mm-hmm. And on the next one, I'm going to hone my skills a little bit better so that I know that I'll be ready.
Right.
Yes, so
yes, yeah.
And it's about taking it into the context of, I'm going to get better.
Yeah.
Right? Like, yes. I'm going to not say, oh, I suck because of that, but like use it as like motivation.
Yeah.
That's how I like to see it.
Yeah. I think that whenever someone is, faced with a setback, sometimes we get clouded up and we think of just like being failures, like there's that moment. So I don't think that's like unnatural for someone to feel like they're a failure when, there's a setback in certain opportunities. But I think that it's important, like the way that when we are children and we fall and we have to get up, I think that that's the same lessons that we learn as adults, because we're walking straight and then we stumble and we fall, but we get back up. So I take that as one of those, like, like I look at that as like, as a kid, because we have kids. So I'm always like constantly looking at like when they stumble, when they, when they don't get picked for, swimming or basketball. I always try to like relate that to my children. Like, hey, you got to keep moving forward because there's going to be something better. If you just allow yourself to take that failure as not a fail, but an opportunity to grow.
Yeah. And it gives you, those failures a lot of times will tell you something about yourself.
Oh, for sure.
And if you don't look at those failures as a way to say, oh, this is what I messed up on, then you're doomed to fail again in that same way.
For sure.
And that's why I think that growth opportunity is really valuable, because it's like, oh, what exactly happened here that I didn't mess up? Like, it's like you can play the highlight reels of the game in your head and say, did I not listen to the rules right? Did I not have the right form? What made this not really get executed right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, number 2, reflect and learn. Take time to analyze the setback, identify what went wrong, and gather value lessons that can help you improve in the future.
Yeah, and I think that's actually just kind of what we was talking about, right?
Yep. Yeah. Yep. Number 3 says practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. Acknowledge that setbacks are natural parts of life. Treat yourself with understanding and forgiveness. And I think that's something that we all fail to do sometimes, because I have found myself in many situations where when there is a setback, I completely go in a shell. Like I'm like a turtle and like my head's in the shell. And I, for a moment, will like literally like cry my eyes out and feel like a failure for a second.
Yeah, I think I really suck at that one. The self-compassion thing,
Yeah.
it's not easy. At least for me, it doesn't come natural. So it's like something I got to work out, right?
Yeah.
Like to say, this thing doesn't define you. This situation, you can get by. You could get past.
Yeah, and sometimes it just takes a moment, but like those wounds that you have, you lick those wounds and you keep moving, and they'll heal in time. Like don't just be kind to yourself. You're in this vessel to walk, to create, to build, and more importantly, build yourself. And if you're constantly telling yourself you're a failure and you're not forgiving yourself and you're not being compassionate with yourself, then you're just like creating this rotten vessel. And that's like, why are we doing that? What are we doing here?
Real talk.
The number 4 is set realistic goals.
I like that.
Break down your larger goals into smaller, achievable steps. This allows you to make progress and build momentum even after setbacks. What do you have to say for that?
I like that. I think that's good. I think that's something that we kind of talked about even last week, is setting small, achievable goals.
Yes.
Which is something that people refer to as like stacking your wins.
Yes.
Right?
Like for me, I think it's important to stack your win every single day. You stomp on the ground, you're breathing. That's the first thing that you check off. You're moving, you have another check. Why not celebrate the small things that you are doing for yourself? Then think that you need to, create this bigger picture. I am a person that's like, go, get to your goal. But I don't think that it makes sense to get to your goal by just grabbing all your goals and saying, I'm going to get to it, because that's not realistic. Not for anyone.
Yeah. And I think that in order to get to those bigger goals, the stacking your wins thing is so, so important, because it's easy to look across the street to the green grass over there and go, oh man, I wish that my grass was just green and amazing. But, you got to realize that there was a lot of watering that had to happen, and that's how you got there, is by stacking those small wins and going, I woke up, I did the right thing. I did the next right thing.
Yes.
And, and that's what gets you to the goals.
Right.
The big goals. Yeah.
Yep. And then number 5 is seek support. Reach out to trusted friends, mentors, and family members who can provide guidance, encouragement, and fresh perspectives.
This is valuable.
What do you think about that?
Well, I suck at seeking support out. But I do think that it's very, very valuable to have a few core people in your corner that will tell you the truth, whether negative or positive, and they're willing to do that from a positive place. Like they'll tell you an honest thing in your best interest.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes. I feel like I've been kind of fooled to believe I had trusted friends.
Yeah.
But I literally only maybe have like a handful, not even. Besides for my husband and like maybe 2 or 3 other friends that I can like really, really trust, that want my best interest and guide me in the right direction. And honestly speaking, like I even experienced this the other day where like I sat in my car and like I thought of my father and like certain things and his perspectives of certain ways he would handle certain situations when I did have setbacks. And like, I was like, damn, kind of missed that, like I was like, if it was one besides for you, the other person that would tell me what I need to do to not allow this setback to hurt me or like put me in a failure mindset would have been my dad. So like, yeah, I think it's really important to, when you do find those people, find your people, not just people who are around to compete with you.
Yeah, this should come with a little bit of disclaimer, right? Because there's a lot of people and that's why I was saying the honesty and things like that, and people that are really in your corner, because it's easy to go with people that will puff you up, but maybe not in your best interest, right?
Yes,
so you got to really find your tribe.
Yes.
That's
yes.
really like ready to go to war to some degree,
For
right?
sure.
You know?
Yes. And I have some great ones, man.
Yeah.
The things, you know, the messages that I have gotten over the last few days have been very motivating to those, you know, females in my corner, and I love y'all for that, and I hope you're listening, because I love y'all for that, for real. So number 6 is focus on solutions. Instead of dwelling on the setback itself, shift your focus towards finding solutions and taking proactive steps to move forward.
Yeah.
That one I like. That's like my favorite one. I feel like that's exactly how I've been reacting.
Yeah.
Especially last week. Like, I literally cried my eyes out, fixed the situation, and moved forward. And I think that that's something that we're learning to do because of this hard 75.
No, it is super valuable, because then you get to do, you know, the self-care activities, leaning into exercise, doing the healthy eating, and getting sufficient sleep. Those things, is that the right one?
We're doing focus on solutions instead of dwelling on the setbacks itself. Shift your focus towards finding solutions and taking proactive steps to move forward.
My bad. I skipped ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good.
So yeah, no, that is super valuable. And I do think that you actually did do exactly that.
Yeah.
You know, the hard 75 thing kind of threw me off, because those things are kind of like,
yeah, no, I hear you. No, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, no, you got to move to the next thing, man.
Yes.
You got to move on. Solutions, baby.
Solutions. Anyways, number 7 is take care of yourself. Prioritize self-care activities such as exercising, healthy eating, sufficient sleep, and engaging in activities that bring you joy and relaxation.
Yeah, this one I think is super valuable.
This was the one.
This is the one I was talking about.
This guy over here.
Okay. No, but anyways, the cool thing about that one to me is you're focusing on the things that you can control.
Right.
And I think that a lot of times it's easy to get, when you have a setback, it's easy to get in this depressive feeling.
Right.
And like, it's easy to let that take over your life, really. So, you know, if you prioritize those things like healthy eating, exercise, getting sleep, you'll be so much more poised and prepped and ready to take on those type of adverse situations and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I feel like when you nurture yourself within, and even just physically, what ends up happening is you create what you need to around you by doing that. You know, like, you're like, well, this is something that I deserve. I don't deserve that. You're gonna ruin my energy. Thank you. Love you. Bye. And you have to, the only way you can do that is by digging deep in yourself, by doing physical things, by reading, by really starting to like dig deep into yourself. I think that's very important. Like, we wake up and that's the first thing we try to get done, no matter
100%.
what. Yeah.
It's those are the wins, you know, and I don't even want to say small wins, because I
feel like they're huge.
They are huge. And doing that also puts you in a mindset and puts you in a space that you don't do other things that would kind of throw you off your pivot. Because it's like, well, I've been doing all this work.
Yeah.
I'm not going to just, you know, treat my body bad. I'm not going to put garbage into my brain. I'm not going to be around people that are feeding me negativity. So it's like almost like it's cyclical, like it all adds up.
Yeah. Yep. And then this says number 8 is maintain a positive mindset. Cultivate optimism and positive outlook, even in the face of setbacks. Surround yourself with positive influences and practice gratitude.
I think that's big.
Yeah.
You got to be thankful for the things that you have. And I think that, you know, that's one thing that you always say is, you know, if you're up and you're breathing,
yes,
you got everything that you need. You know what I mean?
Yep. 100%. And number 9 is adapt and adjust. Be flexible and willing to adjust your plans or approaches. based on the lessons learned from setbacks. Embrace change, adapt to new circumstances.
Yeah, which I think that's almost kind of like the focusing on solution thing.
Right. Same thing. Yeah.
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 You
Yep.
take that, adjust,
moving on.
Back in the game.
Yep. And my favorite is number 10, keep moving forward. Remember that setbacks are temporary and do not define your entire journey. Stay persistent, keep pushing forward, and maintain your determination to achieve your goals. I always say that, move forward no matter what, pick yourself back up. Shoot, we fall, we break, we fail. But then you know what? Yes, we rise, we heal, we overcome.
Shoo.
Yeah, guys. So I wanted to come on here and kind of share some of that because, you know, we all go through our setbacks in our lives, but understand something. Those things just help build character for us. Those things are not permanent. Those things are not final. And we just wanted to share some of our insight as creators and give you guys a little bit of perspective on some of the things we do and, you know, just moving forward, you know.
You know, I felt very, passionate and felt like I could really share a lot of my perspective on this because I'm really good at taking setbacks.
Right.
I'm really good at going through some setbacks. I just think that we all go through times where, you know, you feel like, it's when it rains, it pours. Oh, it's beaten up. I'm getting beaten up, you know, and, you know, the quicker you could get up, the quicker that sunshine comes out and dries everything up and you're ready to fight again. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So,
because it all starts with you guys, you know, no matter what the outside world tells you, no matter who tells you you are good or you are not good enough, it all starts with what you think of yourself and how you apply yourself, even during like a terrible setback.
Especially during the setback. That's when you really build that character.
For sure.
So
for sure. Well, thank you guys for tuning in, for listening. However, if you are watching, welcome to our channel, Meet the Others Podcast. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Meet the Others Podcast. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. If you see these guys, then that's us, Meet the Others.
Heck yeah. Follow us. Follow the journey. And until next time, stay beautiful.
Peace. Why Meet the Others Podcast? What's this about?
Why are we doing this thing?
Why are we doing this dang thing?
Who the F?
Do we even know what we're doing?
Certainly not.
Oh,
we
no.
just hooked this thing up tonight. We figured out how to use the mics, and now we're recording 10 seconds afterwards. Gives me comfort. So
I hear you.
Yeah. So anyways, Meet the Others. That's us.
Still waiting on this car to come and take me home. Things feel a little different now that we grown. Till I turn the ass, sure they put my name in stone. Live how I wanna live, cause we die alone.